Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. Follow me on my finance channel at AIH Finance. Okay, a few things. Number one, I did a video on whether the Star 84 card was being pumped. I was asking questions, right? Wanted to get people's opinion, and when I get people's opinions, sometimes I get pretty good information. Sometimes, people come after me. That's fine. I'm used to it by now. But the good part about it is people send me more information that I wasn't privy to in the past. So that's a good thing. A few things about this. Number one, the sale of a BGS 8, I didn't even realize this, went for about $24,000 in July. And now the PSA 8, one sale of it was $100,000. So right off the bat, this is about what? More than four times than what was in a BGS holder? That's quite interesting. I get it, this card is scarce, but usually, you could see a doubling of the card in a PSA holder. But you have to look at card by card by card to see whether or not that's the case. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay. That doesn't make sense to me. And what was weird about that was that the seller said that I'm very confident, or I think he alluded to, he's very confident that PSA 8 is going to be worth more than the PSA 10, the Fleer 86, by National next year. So I'm thinking to myself, if you're that confident that it's going to be more than a PSA 10, why are you selling it? I mean, I get it. Some people have expenses to take care of. I have expenses, so if I had a card and someone offered me $100,000, I'm like, look, I gotta pay for some house repairs. I gotta pay off some debt, etc. Right? So that $100,000 would go a long way. So if you're selling in that regards, okay, fine. But if you're just trying to get rid of it because you think it's overvalued and then you're making that sales pitch, okay, then that's a different story. But the other thing I saw in the comment section was that, and also I think on Blowout, is that people may have known about this information besides Nat Turner, and they use that information to be buying up uh, these Fleer 86 cards or some of these factory sealed team sets. This is what someone told me who's familiar with these, or it's just sealed, these sets out there. And one guy told me that he believes that if they're in pristine condition, you get higher than an 8, okay. That could be pretty good for the guy who gets it graded. I know PSA is probably going to be strict about this. But regarding the inside information, so if someone had that inside information and they used it to their advantage, well, in this industry, you could get away with it. In the stock market, for instance, you go to jail like Martha Stewart if the SEC decides to go after you. So it's a whole different ball game. And then I was just going through Blowout the other day, and I came across this guy, Steve Taft, and he was very influential in helping Beckett grade these cards, the Star cards. He created a kit for them. From my understanding, he worked as a dealer for Star, I believe. I have to look that up. Maybe I'll do some more digging on this guy. But he is an expert on these cards, and he knows a counterfeit from a real really easily because he created the guide for Beckett. He created the guide for, I think it's GAI, that old grading company. But this was his Facebook post from the other day. I want to read it. So it goes on. This was a post on Facebook on July 4th. The most asked question is, did I train PSA? And as of now, that's more than a no than a yes. I've been in discussions with PSA management for over a year about doing this, and the verbal plan was that I would meet with graders and do an authentication training session. And as some of you may know, I've had some health issues and had to keep delaying officially getting this set up. While we had many phone calls and emails discussing some of the basic issues, I still have not signed a consulting deal to officially proceed with them. Ultimately, PSA decided to go ahead and work on this on their own, and well, they should, since I had to delay for about a year. I guess you could say I helped point them in the right direction to get started, but credit goes to Brandon at PSA for leading the research, so they will be taking submissions for the 84, 85 star in a couple of weeks, which is already now. Alright, then it goes on about his medical condition. I'm not going to get into that. My understanding is PSA is still working on their knowledge base for the other star company sets, and they may consider having me help with this phase, most notably the 85, 86 star Type 2s. As you would expect, PSA asked me not to comment until after they made the initial announcement. Since that now has been done, I wanted to clarify what I did and did do the past year as the process played out. I was told a couple times that the rumor was I led this process, and while I had discussions about Star Company in general, Brandon and his team at PSA have been working hard on this for a while. As of today, I have not seen submission rules and costs. Note these, okay. Alright, and then he goes on to say how he could spot how it's easily faked and how it's not faked, because he's an expert. And he ends it by saying he's great. He's happy that in addition to BGS, there's PSA that's going to authenticate these cards. Okay, so it looks like PSA has been working on this for a year, and it probably would have been a lot. This announcement could have been made a lot sooner if probably Steve Taft were in better health, from my understanding from this post. So PSA has been doing research for a year. Now, I'm just thinking out loud, who on the inside of PSA use this knowledge to be buying up the sets, right? That's the thing. Anyone could have done it. So some people may think hanky panky. Some people will be like, okay, this is definitely hype. I mean, if you look at the hype cycle of Josh Luber in his paper, he said that what he wants to do with cards is he wants to create the most amount of hype, but at the same time he wants to extend and prolong the hype as long as possible, which means more profits. So if you just look at potentially this hype cycle, I never even thought about this when I did that video, but you have people from the inside buying this up, and now they're in the process of selling, right? One sale, once again, the PSA 8 is 5 times more than the card that was sold as a BGS holder. Now, on the other hand, some people may think that, hey, look, yeah, it's hyped up right now. Once the hype dies down, prices will go lower, and that could be a better entry point. And then they could speculate in that. And I'm thinking, okay, hype, no hype, what happens 10 years from now, right? Someone has, once again, a team set, and it's in pristine condition, it's not in a BGS holder, and they send it, and it turns out to be a PSA 9. I don't think you're going to get 10s on this, because if you don't grade a card, that's old, from what Ziggy was saying, it's hard to give a 10. So let's just say a 9. I wonder what that 9 is. I think that 9 could go more than the price of the Fleer 8610, but once again, you got to have that, and it needs to be during that hype cycle for that to occur, in my opinion. Now, I do plan to get a star card of Jordan, but not now. Everything, once again, it's now looking after examining this information that the hype is here, right? I don't want to buy that hype. I want to wait and then buy a lower graded star card in a BGS slab down the road. Maybe they're on to the next thing at that time. Maybe everyone's chasing football at that time, or a couple years from now, people are chasing these weird cards, or it's the economy isn't in the best position. That's the time to buy, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to discuss this. Just quite interesting after looking more about Steve Taft, and he is definitely an expert. And I'll definitely read more of his older articles and interviews. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thank you. Bye.